You're watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.
Dealers are always looking for the best-in-class CRM. One company that is expanding quickly on the market and providing just that is DriveCentric. On today's show, we're pleased to be joined by DriveCentric's Chief Evangelist Officer, Mr. Steve Roessler. I know you know this gentleman if you've been in retail automotive for any longer than a day, because he knocks the cover off the ball whenever he speaks to groups. And thank you so much for spending some time with us here at CBT.
Hey,
News.
it's great to be here. Always good to be in Atlanta.
Sure. I think it's the first time you've been in our office, in our studio. Maybe one other time. I think you were on one of our other shows, hosted by one of our, maybe Jason
Rice. That's right.
That's right.
Doing his used car.
That's right. You did a great job there. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule. You guys are currently like the fastest growing CRM out there, right? And one of the reasons we want to talk to you here at CBT, as many of our viewers know, we want to be bringing the cutting edge products and services to our dealer body that's out there and find the companies that are providing really cool solutions for dealers. And we've been watching you guys. So how many stores do you guys currently have now for dealers?
We are coming up on 1,000. It's been great.
1,000.
Yeah, when I started the company, we were 35 rooftops.
Wow.
I think when I first talked to you way back when, we were probably at 35, maybe 50 rooftops.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
We've been really blowing up this last 2 years, but I think our message of what we're going out there doing is talking about how CRMs are really known as database management systems.
Right.
And really the industry and the customer, especially with COVID, has really transformed to engagement first.
Right.
And that's really been the core message. You take a look, customers are buying cars now faster than ever.
I know.
And so our CRM is viewed more as a chat tool with all communications tied into one platform.
Okay.
And we're just teaching customers how to be better responders versus being task monkeys. All these CRMs, that's all they do is let's do the task to do the task mode versus let's respond to a customer that's talking to us right now.
That's right.
So it's a much different world that we're in, and we got to reprioritize.
That's right. When you say the word dashboard to any desk manager or GM right now, they're like, "Oh my gosh, another dashboard." That's what we need, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What they need a dashboard on is who's talking to my store today.
Right.
That's what they need. I think these the KPIs are going out there saying how many phone ups, how many internet leads, how many walk-in traffics do we get?
Yeah.
All these opportunities we invest our marketing team to develop should turn into an engaged customer.
Right.
So how many customers are talking to our store today from the digital showroom?
Sure.
And I think as we've gone out there and studied more of the customer's behavior, we build those tools into DriveCentric and reposition our dealers to think differently.
Right. Now you've come into the industry, as you mentioned, last time we talked, you had 35 stores. What do you think the special sauce has been for your company? What separates you to be able to pull away from the pack like that and garner so much market share?
Yeah, well,
there's some big players out there, as you know.
Very big players, and good stiff competition. Fortunately, we've been positioning ourselves more of a technology company.
Okay.
The CRM just happens to be the base of how we get into the dealership. Okay. But as a technology company, our fundamental principle is we want to build the technology to give to the dealerships so they're not going into all these different windows.
Right.
The one complaint that we get from many managers at the desk is I got to manage from all these different windows.
Yeah.
If we could give tools like an iPhone. I'll give a very simple analogy. The iPhone 13 or now coming out 14, everything is built within the phone. We could do everything from our phone.
That's right.
But a CRM and the older technology that these companies were built 20 years ago, you can't do it.
Right.
Fundamentally, they integrate with all these tools that dealerships need to engage the customer.
Right.
We have just taken a different approach, leveraging technology to build it within the housing of DriveCentric.
Okay.
I hope that makes sense.
No, it does. It does. So you're completely holistic in your product. I mean, you're not depending on all these other things because to your point, you hear so much about integration out there. Well, this integrates with that, and that integrates with this. And well, what about a product that just has its own? And that's the solution you've come up with.
Yeah, I think what dealers need to understand is integration is a solution, but it's a Band-Aid to a solution.
Yeah.
It's not going to fix the solution.
Right.
At the end of the day, if for example, video, if a video company says, oh, we integrate with the CRM, that is great. But if I'm trying to shoot video, I still have to go to a third-party platform to shoot the video.
Right.
And there's too many steps to do the video. And then I don't have metrics, for example, to track the video.
Right.
So These are all the problems, and we have to think about these days of, these phones. We're hitting the phone still. We got dealerships doing 100 phone calls, 50 emails a day.
Of course.
The new communication strategy is really texting, video, and live streaming.
Right.
That's where the dealerships need to evolve to enhance this digital showroom experience to these customers that don't want to come in and buy a car.
That's right. That's right. And how we've all seen the Vroom and Carvana commercials where you pick up your phone or you go to your tablet, you're in the comfort of your own home and you buy a car. Yep. And while some dealers will remind me, but only a couple of 100,000 cars a year, a couple of 100,000. But we know that that's the future of the industry. And for dealers that are out there that deny that and say, no, people still want to come in and kick the tires and shake the hands of the salespeople, that's kind of a dying breed, right? I mean,
it is. And I'm so glad you asked that, because the new term that I like to educate dealers with is, I don't like the word process anymore in this industry, because I think the way that we have processes is, when can we come in? When can you get the customer in? When can you come in? When can you come in? If I secret shop a store and I get a template that says, when can you come in? I'm going to die, right? But the way I'd like to think about it is, there's a pathway for the customer that wants to buy the car.
Right.
So what is the pathway the customer wants to do?
Yeah.
And we don't ask that question. We assume that they want to come in.
I know.
But if they want to do a part of the process virtually, why do we have to wait for the customer to ask, can this be done virtually?
That's right.
That is the biggest slap in the face for a customer to ask that, when we can offer that.
That's right.
So that's one of the things, is we're trying to give dealerships the technology to be proactive versus reactive to the conversation.
That's right. That's right. It used to be the old adage when I was in the business, you can't sell a car to somebody that's not here. And that completely is flipped around now. You definitely can sell a car to a customer that's not here. And dealers need to embrace that concept, right?
Well, yeah. And look, Carvana changed their tune over the last year since that Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah.
That new commercial says, somebody's helping me and they're not selling me a car.
That's right.
They're guiding me through it.
That's right.
I kind of look at it as like a tour guide.
Yeah.
If we have these digital retailing tools that we can use, and a customer wants to buy a car remotely, offer a screen share. Let's help them buy the car.
Right.
That is one pathway.
That's right.
The dealership can do everything that these companies like Carvana can do. They just can offer a test drive.
That's right.
I wouldn't want to return a car, in a FedEx box.
Yeah. That's exactly. It is funny because when you think about it, and every dealer president or dealer group president I speak to, I'm like, what does Carvana have that your dealer group doesn't have? Absolutely nothing. In fact, you've got the legacy of that dealer name in that market. You've got the service department that sits behind the showroom. You've got all of these thousands, if not millions, of happy customers in a particular marketplace, and Carvana doesn't have that. But what Carvana does have is this whole new way to buy a car, and they've taken out the negative part that customers just don't like about the process. So, it's products like this that dealerships need to pay attention to if they're going to thrive in the future, right?
Absolutely. I think what the dealerships need to do is quit thinking of a 1-lane highway and think of like a 4-lane highway for these customers. You have to offer different avenues for the customer, at least offer it. And if Carvana is literally, their message is for that at-home buyer.
Sure.
They don't want to come into the dealership. And the dealerships are still saying that. So, one of the things in DriveCentric, because we offer video, we do live streaming, we're teaching stores how to bridge that gap and offer, let's say, a virtual test drive for a customer that lives maybe 4 states away, because people are flying all over the place to buy a car today.
I know, it's crazy.
It's just the way it is.
I know.
You got to bridge that digital showroom gap. I mean, the physical showroom gap, and offering a digital showroom solution. And that's what video is such a huge part. Obviously, live streaming, if a customer says, hey, I would love to trade in my car, but maybe I live 4 hours away. Can you, offer me what would be the best part of my trade? Well, let's offer a virtual trade appraisal.
Right.
And what's wrong with that?
Nothing.
And you're making it convenient. And that's what these other companies are doing, is offer convenience. And I don't think the dealerships are focused on the convenience factor until they have all the tools in place. And that's what our solution is doing.
Good point. So your point is, we should be really not just embracing it, but also really be more proactive in offering that to the customer, rather than the customer trying to get that option from us. Just put it on the table. Because if dealers don't do that, and the customer says, okay, well, listen, let me shop around. I'll call you back. And the next dealership does do that, and they go, yeah, oh my God, I'd love to do all of this online. That's where the sales going. That's where the customer's going.
It is. And what dealerships don't think about is the opportunities that are lost. I think we look at, if we don't offer somebody to come in the store, we're going to lose that opportunity. But the opportunity is more lost today, given the way the customer's mentality is today, is probably higher because we're not being proactive. Yeah. They're losing opportunities indirectly.
I agree. There's no question about it, for sure. So what can we expect from DriveCentric? What does the future of DC entail?
Well, we got a lot of things on our plate. It's going to be a big year for us. We just did implement what's called direct chat. So now instead of having like chat tools that push this ADF XML format in, which has been a great solution for over years, the website and our CRM are going to work directly hand in hand together. Okay. That's the goal of DriveCentric because the website's the digital showroom for each of these dealerships. And having the CRM a one-to-one with the website is going to be critical for the future of their business. Okay. But we're going into digital retailing. We're going into service. There's just a lot of things, but it just takes a long time to build. Right. And a lot of people aren't patient for that, unfortunately. But we're going to get there. Getting to where we are today has been just a blessing. I pinch myself every time.
Well, with 1,000 dealers under your belt, that is certainly a formidable, that's an incredible task, right?
It is.
Especially when you're up against the guys you are in the industry.
And we just got into Canada, so I'm all excited about saying we're international now.
Wow, so, that's fantastic.
There's a lot of good things. But I think our passion is really help dealerships sell more cars by giving them more options to the customers. And it's really about engagement. I want us to really make sure that if somebody looks at us as, don't look at it as a CRM solution, think of us as an engagement solution. Okay. And that's really how people have to think about it. Engagement first. Right. Data management is what every CRM company is. Everybody does it. Right. You have to be engagement focused.
Right. And if it's easy and you're not opening up 14 different screens, then it's going to be used more. I mean, I've spoken to a number of your colleagues in the industry with other CRM companies, and they'll tell you it's still kind of hard to get that salesperson, or that BDC person to put everybody with all the information into the CRM, right?
Well, and that's the cliche is the best CRM is the one that's used.
That's right.
And look, I say this all the time. Yeah. And you know how many times we do the demo, and our dealers will say it looks like Google, Facebook, and Messenger. Right. Well, that's what salespeople are using. They're not using their current CRM. If we're being honest. Sure. So we had to build something that felt what I call normal, and our developers, our product designers, everybody behind our support team is great. And they do a great job teaching everybody. But we've been remote launching stores for like 6 years. Wow. And to have a CRM being remotely launched is kind of unheard of. Way back when. Yeah. And I still remember when we went through that, I was like, man, is this the right decision? Yeah. But now I think the simplicity of the tool, we just on our mobile app, we have a 91% usage rate on the mobile app. And that's where really all salespeople need to be anyway. Right. They have to be on the mobile. Right. And they'd rather do that on the desk than on the desktop anyway. That's right. So they're in the game more is what we like to say if it's easy.
Talk to me, and I know that dealers are going to want to know this. That's why I'm asking it. But the support to install into a dealership. Talk to me about the importance of that, and then also what you guys provide.
Yeah, no, anytime a dealership, making a CRM switch is obviously a big undertaking. That's the biggest fear. We do a good job with all these CRMs. We have a script, we get the data from the CRM, but what we do is we get the DMS data first, and then we overlay the CRM data on top of it, and we scrub the data. Okay. We do a good job really, when like people's names, like for example, if you're James in your old CRM, but you're Jim in the CRM, you got to make sure the names match, DMS IDs. As long as we do all the right things up front, the data will come in just fine. Okay. If there's hiccups though, which there are. Yeah. I mean, we're never going to say it's going to be perfect. Sure. But if there are hiccups, we do what's called data mods. Okay. And we just go out there and usually keep the previous CRM on for a couple of weeks. Okay. And we can do another data import. Okay. It's not as hard as
not a big deal.
I say it's like changing from an iPhone 12 to an iPhone 13 or 14. It's scary.
You might miss a picture here or there.
Well, I know, but but it is. And really, I think a lot of people get rid of about 80% of their business rules because we do have technology like artificial intelligence. Sure. And a lot of people, after you start seeing the data, I'm not following up with customers after, let's say, 4 days, 7 days, 14 days, because I got to look at my human capital much differently. Right. So there's a lot of things that are involved with when it comes to switching on CRM, and we just help provide kind of like that consultative, and we have other dealerships under our belt
Sure.
that we connect the dots to. So we're kind of like a 20 group inside Drive.
Speaking of groups, you're always one of the most entertaining and informative people at Digital Dealer. So are you going to Digital Dealer this year?
I am going to Digital
Fantastic.
Dealer. I have not been yet to speak, but I am speaking at NADA, driving sales, doing some other speaking engagements. So it's always great to get out there and get the message.
And we're in August, so I know that's in October. That's coming up, so make plans. But I'm sure you'll see Steve way before that, because as I said, you do a great job all over the industry.
I appreciate it. Yeah, always great.
Keep it up. Steve Roessler, Chief Evangelist Officer for DriveCentric. These are the kinds of programs that we want to bring to you guys and girls for that matter in the industry. These kinds of solutions. Right now we need all the solutions we can get our hands on, and here at CBT News we try to pick and choose the ones that we think have the most merit to them. And certainly with 1,000 stores underneath their belt in a very short period of time, they must be doing something right. We now know they are doing something right, so check them out online, and I think you're going to like what you see. DriveCentric. So thanks, Steve, so much for coming by.
You got it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.